Hey up everyone, what's going on and welcome back to Sheffield Utd with me, AmazingChi. I've never done the intro like that, but we'll press on. And there's been a slight change to the scheduled games in today's episode. We're not doing the Carabao Cup semi-final with Manchester City because, well, this happened in the first leg. I cannot explain how we just utterly obliterated them in their own ground. They had 2 shots on target, which might be something to do with it actually, out of 13. We've only played 4 league games since we last met, which was the 4-2 Wolves and the 6-1 Carabao, of course. But Watford dispatched 3-1. They scored in the first minute. We responded very well, it must be said. Then Leeds 1-1. That was disappointing. Tottenham 3-3. You could see when the goals were scored. They well and truly Spursed it, is the best way to put it. They actually scored in the 90th minute, and then we scored 2 in extra time, injury time. I know the phrases. I know how football works. Should also say, Curtis Jones' first goal of the year. I did not know his middle name was Julian. Why does that tell me that? That's completely irrelevant. Swansea didn't know what hit them in the FA Cup. 6-0 with a basically fully rotated side, apart from left-back, which was enforced because of an injury to Ruggeri. But Esposito with a hat-trick, Benoit with a goal, Gallardo with a goal, and Radovanovic got one late on as well, just to sort everything out. And then, perennial bogey team now, Everton, decided to be a bogey team almost again. They scored in the second minute. We equalised late on through, ironically, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Should say before we get into that, of course, as well, with 3 draws in a row has left us significant points behind Liverpool. We've not played our game this week, of course, which is this Chelsea match. So, depending on how this goes, we could be 9 points behind Liverpool in the lead. I'm not super fussed about winning the Premier League again. It would be nice, but I would definitely like to get Champions League football again, because depending on how the Champions League campaign goes this year, one more season is likely going to happen. If we win everything, then we might just end it at the end of the 4th season here. But if we don't win the Champions League this year, I will do a 5th. Either way, got to be thinking about the next save, as sad as that may be. Meanwhile, I just noticed there Brighton were 2-0 up within the first 15 minutes over Everton, so clearly not a bogey team for everyone. Before we actually go into the match, I'll just give you an update on the injury situations, which was Brozovic was out for a little bit, Ruggeri, as mentioned, out. Neymar, of course, injured in the last episode, only just returned as well. So there's been a few issues with that. Burge got a little knock in one point. Not McTominay. Ceballos got a knock. He was a midfielder. Ceballos got a knock as well. So we've had a fair amount of rotation, particularly in the middle of late, as you can tell by the tactical familiarity. I don't understand why that disappears after not playing like 3 or 4 games. Like Calvert-Lewin hasn't played last match. Suddenly doesn't know how to play football in this formation ever, despite the fact we've played it for about 4 months now. And that is the only position he's ever played in this formation as well. He's never been the attacking forward. How does he not have tactical familiarity? He's missed 1 match. And he even came on in that match and scored. Absolute nonsense. Palacios, I understand. Burge, I do not. Calvert-Lewin, I do not. And Fofana, I do not understand why they do not have tactical familiarity at the full. You shouldn't forget everything about the formation in about 4 days. The lineup today will be thus: Xhaka in goal, Meza, Romero, Maguire and Aarons at the back, Burge and Palacios in the middle, Neymar and Maddison, Martial and Calvert-Lewin up front, of course. 33 goals between them so far. Esposito sat on 14 in rotation appearances, which is quite a lot when you think about it. And Radovanovic, who I can't see, he's on the bench as well, 5 goals in his appearances too. Kyle Walker also took a 2-week injury as well, so the backup on the bench is Izzo for the time being. We've seen this Chelsea side before. It's very, very different to what we normally have. I say that. Werner, Mount, Ziyech, Chilwell, all still there. They've added Adrien Rabiot in this January transfer window. That was one I did notice. And they line up as you'd expect, really. Whilst nothing is really happening, why do I say that? Why would I ever say that? They've missed, thankfully, but I was going to say, whilst nothing's happening, you can see a point takes us above Arsenal into second again, just because of goal difference. But never mind, Martial's in now. Martial's in, Martial's still in, Martial scored. Number 19 for Anthony Martial. That is just a sea of blue shirts in the corner that he's decided to celebrate. Where are we? Probably this back, behind our goal. Martial, though, it's a great ball. Was it Maddison who did the assist there? I'm trying to work out, I didn't see who did the assist. Yeah, Maddison, the text just confirmed that for me. Just because it was from quite deep, I wasn't entirely certain if it was Maddison, because he doesn't normally play that far back. He is very much an advanced playmaker at this point. Meza, still Meza. Maddison, I think Maddison clashes with Chilwell there. I'm not fully certain how he didn't win that ball. I mean, right, Jack, Do we need a word, Chaka? Because I don't really know what I've just seen from you there. It's a 45-yard ball ahead of Timo Werner, which fair enough, but Chaka, mate, that wasn't the best goalkeeping positioning from you I've ever seen. And I think that basically all stemmed from Maddison forgetting which side he played for because he clashed with Ben Chilwell, obviously formerly of Leicester. The pair of them. The ball to Neymar is intercepted, but Romero will head back forward to no one in particular. Mount for them now. Still Mount, Ziyech. Richarlison has... I'm slightly concerned by the fact that Richarlison seems to be keep getting the better of Max Aarons. They've hit the post. What's more concerning is the fact that Aarons is still on a 6.7. And it's Meza for some reason on a 6.5. I'm not really seeing what's going on that left-hand side. Like, I've seen enough to understand why Aarons might be on a 6.5, but I've not seen why Meza is. And here's Richarlison just walking past Max Aarons again and scoring. Can Max Aarons actually tackle? Like, is that in his ability as a defender? Is he capable of tackling? Because I've not seen it in this game. The weirdest part is, Max Aarons versus Man City, he was basically Trent Alexander-Arnold. He had the game of his life against Manchester City, and yet we've gone to Stamford Bridge here, and he's decided to be essentially a rock, and not the good kind. Late throw in for us, Meza gives it to Neymar. I mean, I've seen a few passes from Meza that have been intercepted. That might be part of it. Mount. Still Mount. And here's Richarlison again. I'm just worried every time Richarlison gets the ball, because he's going to run at Max Aarons, and he's going to get the better of him every time. Meza is capable of tackling. Thank you, Meza. Hopefully that does your rating the world of good. Calvert-Lewin, still Calvert-Lewin. Got a lot to do from here. Neymar, not the greatest ball to Neymar. Still had to work for that. What should have been a really simple pass. Burrs is into the box and Palacios smashes home. 2-2 on the stroke of our time. And I'm not fully certain we deserve it. But I'll absolutely take it. Good work from Neymar, really. Burge in a bit of space and Palacios in plenty of space too. We've not seen a great deal of Palacios this season due to the lack of attacking midfielder, but he's getting an opportunity now while Brozovic is injured, and taking it. Again, I'm still not fully certain what's going on with Meza here at 6.5, but they've got another highlight. It might be well worth looking into that after the game to see why he's been rated at that level, when I've not really seen much wrong with Richarlison as being Aarons to that ball again, I think. This is just a case of out jumping him, but Hakimi not dealt with, and Richarlison does look significantly taller than Aarons in the 3D engine there, so maybe that's part of that. I would also say neither side have an XG over 1 right now, and it's 3-2. Oh, this is the worst case scenario. Aarons and Meza both knackered. Neymar knackered. Well, Neymar knackered isn't a horrible situation. 6.1 as well from him. I don't know what's happened there at the end of this game, but we do need fresh legs there. If he wasn't on a 6.1 and knackered, I probably wouldn't take him off. But I don't have anyone for left back. With Ruggieri out, I haven't got anyone. I'm purely going to have to put Benoit Badiashile on because he is left-footed and a defender. This isn't great. I've also put him on defence duty rather than support because he's not an offensive player. Although I'm not sure what his passing and capabilities are because I don't think he's that bad. I think he is a ball-playing defender, naturally, so he might not be too bad going forward. There he is, actually, in the final third, doing a throw-in. He's essentially created that chance. Don't think he was the assist, but Burgess equalised. It's his first goal of the year. I just want to keep an eye on what Badiashile does here because I don't think he gets the ball. No, once he's thrown it, he doesn't get the ball back. But well worked from us, and it's a late equaliser. Again. Oh god, there's another highlight. Garcia is injured. That's interesting. If there was a way to just specifically target his area of the pitch, that would be nice, but I can only tell you to go through the middle or either side. Neither of those are super helpful. Right, I don't know what's happened there because thankfully he's offside, but there was no way that Chelsea player should have got to that ball first. And I'm saying that Chelsea player because that Chelsea player was Everton, and it gets confusing if I say him by name. How? How does he get to that ball first? Like, what? Who is the player that just got beaten to that? It's Palacios. I wanted to check something, but we've got another highlight. It's now Izzo's turn to be advanced. Izzo is in the box. He might get an assist here. He doesn't. I bet Izzo's really thankful that he joined Sheffield United now because he's had about 3 games this year. Maddison, one of them was against Swansea in fairness, but Maguire, part of the 6-0. Are we about to get a penalty? No, that's apparently a good challenge just by the fact he came through behind the player in the penalty box. I haven't got any more substitutions. Frank, control your players. One more highlight. Our XG's actually got to about 1.5 now. So we've had a few good chances. I don't think I've seen all of them. One was that really good save just a moment ago from the Izzo throw-in, but Chelsea haven't actually done much in the last few minutes, the last 10, 20 minutes. So this concerns me that we're about to be absolutely mugged off here as Chelsea get the ball again. Given to Everton, which is confusing because Everton is our bogey team. Oh, for Christ's sake, they're going to score. No, Xhaka saves, thank you. That was a 0.5 XG chance as well from them. In the end, if you look at the raw stats, it's an even game. Oh, just the 5 to 6 months for Jota. Broken lower leg. Apparently he broke his leg whilst tackling. How do you break your own leg doing a tackle? Worst part of that is I just sent Renier on loan. He's the wrong side. Looks like Jota will miss the European Champions Cup first knockout round due to injury. Just how much of a disappointment is that? It's not just the first round. He's out for 4 to 5 months. It's the rest of the damn season. I mean, if we get to the final, he might be back for that. But so we've got Man United away next, and actually there's something I need to get you updated on in regards to Manchester United. Sort of. And that is 20th place Newcastle did fire their manager, and they replaced him with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now the curious thing about that is the fact that they are in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup as well. Solskjaer joined on the 12th of January. The prior match to that was the match against Manchester United, in which they lost 2-1. I very much look forward to their second leg at home. There's a very good chance that Solskjaer could dump out Manchester United and get to a final, basically within the first month of his reign. Although the fact they just lost 4-1 to West Brom doesn't bode well on that front. The goal difference is like minus 40. It's a bit ridiculous what's going on there. Oh, Radovanovic won Golden Boy as well. Tell you what, having Neymar really, I've said it before, really helps in working out which players have potential. One player who joined on the 1st of January, whose potential no longer looks quite as good now that we have Neymar in the squad. He's 3.5 star maybe. He's a right back, he's been sent out on loan. I sent Renier on loan to West Brom actually, and they might be the next game. I'm not sure it's been confirmed yet, so I might loan him out and then immediately have to play them. I thought I'd be using Renier a lot more this year, and then I decided to use Vance Playmaker rather than inverted. And he's not really played. I think if we were still playing 4-2-3-1, he would have played a lot more than he has, because that right-hand side would have been Gallardo and Renier, with Maddison through the middle with Palacios there. But as it is, we're using Maddison on the right-hand side, Palacios sometimes in the middle of the park, and Renier's not had a look in, sadly. Renier was the one person I knew had potential going into this save. Like, he was the one that sort of early on did the rounds as a starlet in FM21. Potential person's only 4-star here, so I don't know if he's a variable one, and I just haven't got the best Renier possible. Still worth a bit though. But because I know he's one of the good players, the good young players this year, one of the wonder kids, I thought I'd just highlight him there briefly just because people might be interested in him. Now the interesting thing is everyone's played except for Liverpool really in this top end of the table. Man United down in 10th at the start of play right now. The interesting thing is those early fixtures haven't actually changed the top 4 because Manchester City and Arsenal are seemingly not capitalising on that. Yes, Man City drew, and I can see Arsenal got destroyed by Chelsea. Now, the situation is thus. I don't have any left backs remaining, so Aarons, who is still 3-star on the left-hand side, I'm not going to play him inverted just because it doesn't fit with the system, but I know he is right-footed, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. But Romero and Fofana will join him in central defence. I think they're just the best pairing. Sorry, Harry, but... And then we'll have Izzo at right-back as the only remaining player who can sort of do that. Verge and Ceballos in the middle because... Palacios has taken a knock apparently, or maybe he just wasn't back to full fitness last time and it's just backtracked for whatever reason. Neymar and Maddison, and then Martial and Esposito because Calvert-Lewin isn't at full fitness either today. Not an injury fitness, just not at full conditioning, I should clarify there. Walker back to 75 minutes. Walker back to 75 minutes recommended. Actually, 75 minutes recommended. I'll start him over Izzo in this situation, I think. That might backfire because he won't be match sharp. And they play 4-2-3-1 as well. Bruno with Dembele and Rashford. God, Icardi, which is of course where Icardi ended up front. Too many draws for us. I mean, I'll take the points at Chelsea and Tottenham just because of the way they panned out. But draw against Leeds, they're 9th. It's not too bad, but it was a draw at home. And a draw against the bogey team Everton. I'm not happy with those 2 draws, but the fact that Leeds are 9th, I mean, this is going, presumably Bruno's on it, is he? Yeah, Bruno on the free kick. This is going to go in, otherwise it wouldn't really be a highlight. You just know. You can just tell. It's the 100th league goal of his career, because of course it is. Well done, Bruno, mate. I hope I captained you. Right, Aarons to Neymar to see if we can get a reply. We've gone down within like the first 2 minutes here. Wan-Bissaka, what was that from, I think... I'm trying to do words here. But Max Aarons at left back just did an incredible interception. Ceballos has been booked within the first 5 minutes. Well done, Danny. Walker is going to get that to Neymar. What a ball from... Sorry, Marshall scored, but Kyle Walker. Manchester United couldn't wish for a worse start, apparently, despite the fact they've scored. Sometimes the text just talks absolute nonsense, but Kyle Walker, you can see why he ended up with 13 assists last year. Good lord. Great knockdown by Neymar as well, let's not underestimate that, but oof, Kyle automatically repaying me for choosing him over Izzo there. I didn't realise I just missed the opportunity to have Maguire and Kyle Walker in the same team there, next to each other, but Martial, not quite. Former Sheffield United boys and former Manchester on opposite sides Manchester boys too. Neymar, not quite. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, the second most advanced player for them there, for some reason. Bruno Fernandes puts the ball in at close. Romero puts that one forward. Neymar. I've not really done much on the defensive front in terms of corner, set pieces and all that jazz. We don't seem to concede too many of them. Like, not a worrying amount. Madison, I'm not entirely certain if he intended to do that. He just sort of ran through the Rashford, I think it was, and ended up with the ball. Now, yes, Wesley Fofana does clear that danger emphatically by putting it into the opponent's box. If anyone had run onto that, that would have been great, but sadly, no. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is at Manchester United. That's just registered. What on earth is he doing at Manchester United? Can't get a game at Chelsea, but apparently he can at Manchester United. That's incredible play from them. I really hope I have captain Bruno Fernandes on this week's game week. Aaron Wan-Bissaka there with the pass and go play that he's known for. Bruno though, great finish again. Can't deny anything about the quality of Bruno Fernandes. Rashford's just run through the entire pitch and given it away. Thank you. Martial heads down to Neymar and Neymar will charge. Neymar doesn't get it to Martial, but he has recycled back to Max Outens, who I was concerned was just going to walk it off the pitch. Ceballos, Maddison, Esposito not quite in there. And it's back to Bruno. Can we just... Do I have hard tackling on Bruno? Because it would be quite nice just to take him out of the game. I'm not going to lie. Rashford's in. Rashford hasn't scored. I'm not going to deliberately take out a player. That's not in the spirit of the game. But, you know, if he was to be taken out of this game, wouldn't be the worst thing. As he puts the ball back in again, Romero deals with that. There's a lot of highlights in this game. We're only half an hour in. Might be quite a long episode. Rashford is charging at Walker and that's not a penalty. Okay, Xhaka. I really thought that was about to be villain mode for Kyle Walker temporarily after doing the incredible almost assist to set up the first goal for us. I thought he was about to give away a penalty. But Dembele charging. Dembele still charging. Oh, just wide. The distance that Dembele ran there, I wasn't really expecting a goal out at the end of that because 9 times out of 10 when a player goes on one of those runs, the highlight is the run rather than the finish. Pretty much all the time get the did so well until the finish text at the bottom. That one tested my patience as it tippled past the post. Did Enrique just pass to himself? I think he did. They've scored, but I'm fairly certain Matthias Enrique just passed to himself there. Yep, he doesn't early because Lenglet's offside. He passes to himself. I dare say Lenglet's interfering with play there because clearly the pass was intentioned for Lenglet and my players left it on the assumption that he'd be offside. That's one of those rare occasions where the offside for a player that actually hasn't touched the ball should have possibly been a thing. And you've seen the number of times that you've had a goal disallowed for players offside that haven't actually interfered with the play. That's one time that it probably should have been and wasn't. I'm not happy about that one. We'll motivate them up and get them sent out again. I've not really looked at the ratings as such because first half ratings, let's be real. Maddison apparently not in the game too much. Burge on a 6.3. The midfielders both booked is concerning. Neymar off to Burge though. Had a great goal last time. Has he set Marshall up there? Marshall is onside. Scores against his former club. I don't know what's just happened there, though. Marshall went to get the ball, and someone else picked it up. I presume Esposito. But it's all about what happens after the goal here for me. I think it's Maddison, actually. That was confusing. Dembele now, though. What's not confusing is Wan-Bissaka apparently has decided that he's actually good going forward now. Right, okay. That's the third goal we've conceded from the edge or near the edge of the box. If we could close them down, that would be nice. I know one of them was a free kick, but still. Just realised that's probably where Ceballos got booked in the first few minutes. McTominay and Kayado on. Neymar's staying on this pitch just because he might be knackered, but he's not having a bad game so far. And this is one of those occasions where I just feel like he's going to do something. Martial pulls another one back. I had actually gone unnoticed that he scored all 3. I'd forgotten he scored the first one because it was all about the Kyle Walker pass. But Martial scores a hat-trick against Manchester United. You love to see it for narrative purposes. Ceballos just dipping into red there as well. Fofana nearly equalises. I wasn't fully certain if that was going to be the entire highlight, but it was. Kyle Walker on a 6.5, by the way, despite what was essentially the assist. Injury time. Any late magic in injury time? Ooh, hello. Kyle Walker throws that one in. Martial not under it. Esposito, though, on the rebound. Martial's there. He nearly got 4 goals. He nearly got a 4th. De Gea will just play this short and that'll be the end of this game. Probably, unless they cock it up almost immediately. They do not. There's no way in hell we're getting this ball up that pitch in time before this game is over. Unless there was something in injury time that's caused more injury time. What was that? I know we're saying this because that's the end of the game, but why did Romero just kick that straight off the pitch when we need a goal? At least kick it centrally, if you're going to boot it up the pitch. And again, it's a very even game. Still second, but could have done without losing that one. Right, so, actually, I'm looking all the way to the end of March. Oh no, the Carabao Cup final. For a second there, I was thinking Porto and Liverpool, but I had forgotten about the Carabao Cup final, which is likely going to be a thing, considering we won the first leg 4-0. So unless we absolutely ruin it against Man City in the second leg, Carabao Cup final will be the next episode. I will see you for that. Whether it's Manchester United or Newcastle is yet to be seen, though. So that'll be a surprise for both yourselves and myself. Is it going to be Manchester United, or is it going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Newcastle? Until then, ta-ra.